Hey guys, welcome back. We got a bit of an upgrade. I got a hardwired connection now, so no more lag, hopefully. And we can get right to it. Let's talk about the event. We got some great rewards again, a couple things to mention. A lot of stamina could be used in this event, but I don't think that's actually necessary, so we'll talk about it a little bit and get right to it. So we'll actually go back and go to the dungeon first. If we take a look at these, again, 4 levels, but a lot of energy use that you would need to go through these. There is some benefit to 3-starring them. You'll see some quests that are in your event quests related to 3-starring, especially that last one. And you do get Thrax tokens, which is really nice, but there's no healing. So I think I mentioned this before, but even with no healing levels, you can still resurrect your team members, not just with potions, but also with team members that have those skills. So if you've got a resurrection team, I think that's the way to go with that last level. I'm still missing some of the characters, hope to have those soon, and I'll be able to have that resurrection team to be able to show you guys how I would normally go through this. I haven't even attempted it at this point. It may not be that difficult, but it is a ton of energy, and there's other things to do with energy right now. So I may try it by the end of the weekend, I may not, but kind of wanted to talk through this. For me, these upper energy levels, even 2 and 3, it was worthwhile to do it once, but it's not really worth it to me to get those extra tokens. Those aren't characters I'm putting a lot of time into right now. And you don't need to keep running these levels. Kind of when the event came out right away, I thought maybe, it kind of seemed like this, I don't know if anyone else noticed, it seemed like these quests to kill the bunny invaders, you'd have to be running that level over and over again, but you don't. All of these invaders, just like some previous events, they're in all the campaign levels as well, so there's no issue. You can go through, you have plenty of stamina to hit these numbers, just by doing campaign levels. And there's a lot of other things you can get from those campaign levels. And it doesn't appear to be a lot of benefit to just rerunning the levels that are in the event. So if you want those tokens, you could spend the energy on it or the stamina, but otherwise you don't need to keep rerunning those. This is the big, I kind of want to talk about the big prize for this event, at least for me, is going to be this elite cold-blooded rune. And this is perfectly set up for Grandar. Really for other reptile heroes probably too, but for me, Grandar's on my team. He's a reptile. Even if you don't have any other reptile heroes, you get this 30% defense buff or boost just by that fourth stat here, and that's going to be pretty big. The attack boost is nice too, but I don't do a lot of damage with Grandar. But for me, I'm targeting it for Grandar. So again, be really helpful. It's a nice defensive rune to begin with. I think it's a little harder to come by defensive runes, at least that's what the struggle I've been having. It's a lot. There's a whole bunch. I'd say 2/3 of the runes that I get are attack based, and then maybe 1/3, maybe even a little less, are defense based. And kind of sustained, which is really what I like for my teams. Makes it easier to hit those more difficult levels, because as long as you can hang in there, then you usually do pretty well. Alright, so this is going to be the key thing for me, and all I need to do really is run a bunch of campaign levels. I'm already almost all the way there for Dark, and I've still got 2.5 days left on this event. I don't really understand why, because I'm running all different themed or element themed dungeons in campaign, but there's a huge discrepancy in where these are coming. So it doesn't seem like it's fully random. It's going to take me a lot to get through, if it stays at the same ratios, to get through the water bunny. But that's the goal, and if you complete all of these, you'll get 5 times 200, you get 1,000 from these, and you get another 1,000 gems, so 2,000 gems in this event. That awesome rune, a lot of good materials, and these loot keys will be a big bonus too. I worry a lot about my loot keys. I don't want to end the day with any stamina left, so I'll usually, if I don't have a lot of time to play, I'll just run through with loot keys and use up the stamina, usually trying to get Monarch Evos. You can convert Monarch Evos all the way up to any Celestial Evo, so you can never have too many Monarch Evos, especially to be able to get you that one Celestial that you've been missing to try to do the next Ascension. And we're going to have a really good Ascension video coming out here before long. Stay tuned for that. Found a route that works really, really well for me. We'll be talking about that, and I was actually able to ascend quite a few characters. Everyone on my the first team I was shooting for since I came back to the game, they're all fully ascended now. And so that's worked really well. So we'll talk about that before too long, but this is going to stay to the event. Looking down at these, we've got a lot of the standard quests. Again, day 1 through 4, you're going to have 4 quests on each one, and then completing for each of these, you'll get some more bonus. It's not going to be a huge deal. You know, I think in the past I've gotten to like 250 if I'm running just a normal amount, you know, running through my stamina and stuff without trying too hard. About 250,000 of the event currency. So that gets you like 3 purchases of the more expensive characters, you know, those elite characters that we can get, or legendary characters. And we'll take a look at those event prizes that you can purchase. All of that to say, if you miss some of these and you only get to buy 2 or something, it's not a huge deal. You really want to get these top 6. Try to get those top 5 quests that unlock the open season quests. You see 5 there. So those are the quests that are going to be most important for me. And all those are straightforward. You just run campaign levels over and over again. You can't quick loot them, but you've got to just run them, and you can get, you know, most of the value out of this event without doing too much more than that. All right. So let's look at the shop real quick. I'm loving the response on this. I didn't like it all when it was getting really laggy, so hopefully this will be a great path forward. Alright, so they've got really good heroes, again, for token prizes if you can spend the currency. So if I had 250,000 in the past, was pretty normal, I might be able to do this actually 4 times. I might be able to do 4 purchases. Thrax is one of my main characters right now. Niveus, that's going to be one. I'm going to do a dragon team before too long, a dragon/flying team that's pretty popular as well. I'd like to do that with Lorelei as the healer, and so I'll be leveling those star levels up with those characters as well. But you've got lots of good options here, and if you go a little further, you can drop down. Agnon is one I think I'm going to add in as well, and he's just a lot cheaper, so it might be easier for me to get him all the way up to a 3-star, even if the other ones it takes a little bit to get him up to 2-star. So that's what I'll be working on. Anyway, those are I think your best options. In the past, we've had some situations where loot keys were pretty inexpensive. Here, they're actually pretty expensive, so I'd stick away from that. In the last year, just trying to burn through the last of your event currency. Alright, so final thing to say, again, we've got, you can attack, or you can make progress in those quests doing any dungeons in the game. You can do the gold dungeons, you can do the Evo dungeons, you know, these, you can run those, no problem. The most efficient way to knock them out is going to be these low 5 energy dungeons. A lot of times, if I don't have anything else I'm pursuing, I've done all the gold dungeons, I've done the Evo dungeons, then I go to levels over here, right near the end of challenge. If you go too far over, I'm going to show an example of what I'm not looking for. If you've got multiple options for Evos here, then your average, the return's not as good. Let me just show, I guess, what we are looking for. These last few levels, if you get in here and there's only a Monarch, that's the only option, those have got about a 50% chance of giving you a Monarch within the level. You can just quick loot it. So I could show here, I actually don't need red. Let me fire for this, so let's do one of these. Nope, see, I don't want this one, even though it's close to the end. I want to go here. I'm really low on the dark type. So if I quick loot this, you know, with 50% chance, it could go either way. You could get a run of not getting any, or you could get lucky. So maybe it's not the best thing to show, but they come up very frequently. I've run a whole bunch of these. It turns out it's about 50%. And the reason that this is important for me is, one, they're a limiting factor, and you can, like a limiting factor for Ascensions, and you can convert these ultimately into any, it didn't give you a great showing of it, but you can convert these into any of the Evos. You know, if you've got enough of those Monarch Evos, you can convert them into anything that you're missing. So you need Arcane, you could go back to this group, and now if I didn't have enough of these of Brawny, let's go find Brawny. So Brawny's right here. This can be made of the Monarch Evos. So ultimately, I want to make sure I keep my Monarch Evo stocks as high as I can, in case I need that, you know, one last or however many more Ascension materials, and I can come back and use those stocks. So that's it for me. If there's nothing else to use the stamina on, that's where I go. That's where I dump the extra stamina. And as long as I have the time to run it, or just let it run on auto, then that's going to fulfill these quests anyway. That's all I had to say about this. If you've about this event, if you've got any questions or anything else kind of comes up, leave it in the comments down below the video. It's a lot faster for me to respond to comments, or if there's something on, like on day 3, some special quest that's a little harder to complete or something like that, we can talk about it in the comments. Hope you guys have a great time and enjoy this event as well. We'll talk to everyone soon. See you next time.